Disclaimer, these views are solely the views of JC, so all you basketball players requesting me to remove videos, just know I'm not removing any more videos for you niggas, so get the out of your feelings, you sissy nigga. Shout out to Carl Krauser, that's my guy. He respectfully asked me to remove his video, so I did. But the rest of you niggas, I ain't removing so sit down, get the out of your feelings, and enjoy the video. Aaron Malik Harrison, born October 28, 1994. Andrew Michael Harrison, born, you guessed it, October 28, 1994. Here's why neither of them are in the NBA right now, although they both were regarded as top 5 recruits in 2013. Rarely do we see brothers ranked this high and garner this much notoriety. Twins at that. They did everything together, and had it been up to them, would have played on the same team in the league as well. But let's get into 3 reasons that idea wasn't going to work. At least not in their case. Salute to E.S. Hands McGee for the request. Yeah, I know that's a wild name, right? It's your boy JC Stunted Growth. Let's get it, man. Stunt number 1, basketball is not tennis. In tennis, there's a thing called doubles. In this, you play with one other teammate. You share a side of the court and basically move in unison with each other, protecting spots the other can't physically get to. Like we mentioned earlier, Andrew and Aaron are twin brothers that wanted to do things totally together, side by side. But in basketball, someone's gonna get the short end of the stick using this experiment. In this case, Aaron was that guy. Throughout high school, Aaron played mainly off the ball, while his brother Andrew manned the point. Sometimes you'd have Aaron take point duties, but that didn't happen enough. This put him in a position where he had to develop off-guard skills, all while being the size of a point guard in today's game. Not just that, because you can argue that at 6'5", 6'6", he was the perfect size for a shooting guard, right? That's true, but Aaron didn't have shooting guard game. Besides him being a decent shooter, he didn't have a muscular size, he wasn't very physical to the point you can post him up, and he wasn't as athletic as you'd want one of your wings to be. I think teams and people that analyze the game could see from an early point that Aaron would struggle in the future if he continued to solely focus on playing off the ball. Andrew, on the other hand, was in his correct position for his size and skill set. I would say his first big stunt came in the similar form to his brother, where he lacked ideal skill for the position. He isn't a great scorer, shooter, passer, and he doesn't push the pace enough for a point guard of today's game. Along with things like rebounding and playing defense like you see some of the slower, taller point guards of today's game do. Andrew, in my opinion though, always had a better shot simply because he was where he should be on the floor, where they both should have been actually. He just didn't capitalize enough when holding down that position. By their senior years in high school, both were All-Americans and both decided to attend Kentucky, a great school and decision for both. Even with Aaron being slightly misfitted for the off-guard position, UK was going to give them ample opportunity to show how they could produce alongside each other. Stunt number 2, elite skills. This one goes hand in hand with what we mentioned earlier. Both guys, regardless of the position they played, didn't have certain skills that were good enough to stick around. They did have the skills to make a name for themselves and eventually get to the NBA, so I commend them for that success. The NBA game, as you know, has moved on from what most of us remember it to be, and it seems to be changing bit by bit constantly. We've never seen a guy like Luka Doncic become a complete star at his size, lack of speed, inexperience playing Americanized basketball, and most impressively, how young he is. We've never seen a guy like John Morant come into the league after bursting on the scene as basically a no-name just a few years ago to being what looks like an absolute star. The game is changing, and quite honestly, it's fun to watch. But both of those guys have something that Aaron and Andrew didn't. They have at least one thing elite in their package. Obviously they have more than one, but you have to have at least that to stick. There's just too many options nowadays. With more and more people playing the game, there will be less and less opportunity for guys that aren't best fit for what they do. For Andrew, as a point guard that's on the slower footed side of the game, he doesn't have the deception at a high enough level to keep the defense guessing, the shooting he needs to keep them on their toes, and floor spaced in order for lanes to open up, allowing him to make plays. Then there's that, making plays. At Kentucky, Andrew averaged 4 assists a game in his first season, a season where he didn't have much competition for the spot, played 31 minutes a game, and had 6 other future NBA players on his team. As a sophomore, he averaged even less assists, with players that are all-star level players in the NBA right now. For a team to select him in the draft was solely a reflection of the buzz and name he built in high school, which is why in the 2015 NBA draft, after coming into college as a top 5 recruit, he fell to the 44th overall pick. College exposed his weakness on a major level. For his important stats to dip from his first to second year was a red flag as well. Had players still been allowed to leave straight from high school, he would have been a lottery pick, no doubt. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. For Aaron, his stats took a dip as well from year 1 to year 2. This is unacceptable for a guy with no transcendent shooting guard skills to have this happen. You need everything to go right for you in this case, and it didn't. College exposed him as well for having inadequate skills for the position he would play. He also didn't show enough for a team to have confidence in him that he could play the point position, having played solely off the ball since high school. His brother being at point was kinda in his way of doing so. He averaged 12 points a game in 2 seasons at Kentucky, shot 33% from 3 and 41 from 2. He did lead the team in scoring over Karl Anthony Towns and Devin Booker, but those guys possess better skill packages for the league, and so he went undrafted in the same draft. Stunt number 3, opportunity came and went. With all that said, both guys had ample opportunities to stick with the team, but further showed that level just wasn't a level they could find success. Andrew's rights were traded to Memphis on draft night, and he entered Summer League for the team. He left averaging 5 points, 2 rebounds, and 3 assists in 5 games. He would be placed in the D-League, where he would spend his first year. He signed a multi-year deal with the team the following year and actually played pretty well with the little opportunities he did get for the Grizzlies until he injured his wrist in 2018. He was then waived by the team. He would go on to have stints with the Cavs and Pelicans but not appear in any games. Since then, he's been to Russia and back to the D-League, now called the G-League. Aaron's road was a little different. He actually debuted in an NBA game November 2015 before his brother, who was drafted. On January 3, 2017, he was waived by the Hornets after spending much of that time in the D-League. He had stints with the Dallas Mavericks also, playing in a total of 35 games for his career. Andrew, a total of 139 plus 6 playoff games. All in all, for the reasons above, neither guy was able to turn their scorching high school buzz into NBA success. They're both just 25 years old, so who knows what the future holds for them. For Andrew, he has to develop a consistent jumper that he can knock down off screens or if left open, and also build his body in order to inflict his height and size on opposing guards. Aaron's situation is a lot more difficult, being out of position. He also needs to get stronger and shoot the ball a lot more consistently. Salute to these guys, and I wish them nothing but the best. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth, and I'm out.